ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين.
Where are you from?
Well, here, but my family's from like Istanbul.
Istanbul, nice. It's a beautiful city, mashallah.
Very nice, very nice.
So what do you know about Islam?
I'm quite atheistic, but like the cultural aspects more so.
Right. But you don't think there's a God?
It's kind of hard to like
Think
come to
about
that
it,
conclusion. Like,
right?
Everything's busy, so
Yeah.
you don't really get time to think about it too much.
But see, that's the thing. Life is short, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in this life, we don't really have a lot of time. I mean, you see people, I'm sure you've known people that have died already, right?
Of course.
And they're all caught up in trying to get money, and trying to get fame, trying to get cars. And then you die, and all that money and all that fame and all that cars and all the women and men or whatever you like stays back in this world, right?
Of course.
So really you have to take some time and step back and be like, all right, what's it all about, right? So when we think about it, like anybody with basic human intelligence would tell you we didn't create ourselves,
No, of course
right?
not.
Of course not, right? And then think about this, like I got a phone here, right? If I told you, what's your name? Alex? Alexa, if I told you that nobody made this phone, over billions of years, grains of sand just evolved into this phone as it is today. Like you see, it tells you the date, even tells you the Islamic date, you know? All of that just came by itself.
How do I get that?
Well, I can set it up for you. It's Dhul Hijjah, it's an Islamic calendar. You put the Islamic calendar on there, right? And then even this functionality where it recognizes my face and unlocks, it just evolved. At first, I had to dance for it, and then I just had to look at it, and it evolved. Would you believe me?
Well, there's a few more levels before that. You know?
Right, exactly. So to think that this evolved by itself as it is today, it's not believable,
No, of
right?
course not, no.
Yeah. So just like that.
Technology don't evolve like that. No.
Exactly. So now think about this. Your body is more complex than that phone. Your recognition is better than the iPhone, right? Your ability to think is better than Siri, right? Your ability to hear is better than the microphone.
For the moment, anyway, yeah.
For the moment, right? But even if tomorrow Siri becomes more complex, you would still believe that somebody programmed it, right? Somebody had to have initiated. Can something come from nothing? No, right? Something has to come, right? So in that sense, it's not logical to think that there is no creator, right? Now, who that creator is, we can talk about. But the first thing is, like in atheism, they would say there's no God, there's no creator, everything just happened on accident. But that doesn't make sense to you, right?
Never really thought about it too
Well,
far into it.
today's the day. Salam alaikum.
I was just passing by. I just want to say hi.
Jazakallah khair. Good to see you, brother. Inshallah, we'll talk more, inshallah. So if that's the truth, then now that you're thinking about it, what makes sense to you, Alexa? Do you think that all of this is just an accident? Like, would that make sense to you?
I wouldn't say it's an accident. It's more like a bunch of like effort put into each other to create a society.
So who put that effort?
Well, our ancestors, obviously.
But who created them? Like I'm not talking about society.
That's the big question, isn't
Well,
it?
exactly. There's a question, right? So now think about this, right? Like look at the sky, how beautiful it is, how perfect it is, right? Ozone layer protects us, and even though we're kind of ruining it as humans, but who set that up, right? Who set up a zone that will protect us from the UV rays? Otherwise, we would have already burnt up, right? Somebody has to have set that up, right?
Maybe.
Well, but think, what's the other alternative?
That's the question no one can really answer at this point.
Well, exactly. So then leave the others out of it. If the only answer that makes sense is somebody did set it up, then there's no maybe. There is somebody. Now, who that is, we'll talk about. But we would have to agree that this didn't just happen by itself, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. So now, if there is a creator, as we've agreed that there had to be, otherwise this perfection wouldn't come by itself, who is the creator, right? There's a $1 million question, right? Now, when we think about you, Alexa, if you design a new type of a car that nobody's ever seen, it's a brand new system, and it's such a cool car that it flies and it goes in the water, right? You're an engineer, you're intelligent, you designed it, right? But how would you then allow people to use it without giving them instructions, right? Because if you put it on fly mode and take it in the water, it's going to get messed up. And if you put it in the water mode and you take it up in the air, it's going to get messed up. So you have to give some kind of instruction, a manual, right? Like when you buy a car, there's a user manual, right? When you buy
everything in it.
Exactly. When you get a cell phone, there's a user manual. When you get a microwave, there's a user manual. Why? Because the manufacturer and the creator and the designer knows how to use it correctly. So it tells you, hey, we're going to give this to you so that you use it correctly. Make sense? So if that's logical and if that is intelligent, then an intelligent designer that is greater than us, that is more logical than us, that created us, would definitely give us some kind of manual, right? So we as Muslims believe that there is a creator, and we believe that creator sent prophets. Like you look at Abraham, you look at Moses, you look at Jesus, you look at Muhammad, peace be upon them, they all had a similar message, right? They all said worship one God.
A lot of Christians don't even think about that really, but when you look in the Quran, Jesus is quite prominent within it.
He is. There's a whole surah called Surah Maryam, you know, and you see the mention of Isa alayhi salam, the Musa alayhi salam. Moses is the most mentioned prophet in the Quran, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So what does that tell you? It looks like they all had one message. Right? They were sent by the same God, but what happened is people started deviating.
Yeah.
Jews started saying we're the chosen.
Between like Judaism and Christianity.
Salam wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Good to see you. Barakallah feek. So then what happens is, when you have a central source of guidance, that one creator, he sends the same message, but people start to corrupt it. Like Jews started saying, we're a chosen people, we're better than others, we're God's people, the people are Gentiles, they're Goyim, they're this, they're that.
And we see what supremacy has led to.
Well, exactly. In the Middle East, we see in Palestine, right? So now, I don't believe it's a message of God. I don't think you by your DNA are any better than him by his DNA. I think in the end, it's not about which people you're from, it's what you do, right? So that message gets corrupted, right? Now Jesus comes, he brings it to his people, he tells them, look, you, the Jews of Israel, you guys have messed up the message, you have corrupted the religion. Isa ibn Maryam, he says, look, you got to go back to the worship of one God. He prays to one God. Now what happens is then a segment of them start worshiping him. He didn't say worship me, right? In the Bible, you can see verses even till today that show him worshiping God. So instead of worshiping the God above, they start worshiping a prophet. See, they go astray again, right? They're astray. Here, Allah then sends the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as the last messenger with a perfectly preserved message, the Quran, to bring us back. Like, hey, the same message that Abraham, Moses, Jesus brought, Muhammad brought, peace be upon all of them. But when you guys corrupted it, let's bring it back. Right? So now Islam, what a beautiful, perfect way of life. We still pray the way the Prophet prayed. We don't make up celebrations like Christmas. We don't make up Easter and bunnies and eggs and all this nonsense. Got nothing to do with Jesus, nothing to do with the Bible, right? So we bring people back to that original path.
Born in that time.
You know, Alexa, you are up on knowledge, bro. You're up on game, right?
But I'm definitely not a Christian.
Good. So now, when you see that those people corrupted the religion, and we agreed the Creator would send guidance, right, as the prophets, the one path that all of the prophets led to is the path of Tawheed, the path of believing in one God. Right? Even look at the 10 Commandments. Hear, O Israel, your Lord is one. Don't worship idols, right? But you go to church, all you see is idols, you see saints.
And when you go in a mosque, you don't see portraits of anyone.
There you go, man. There you go.
You see quotes and geometric shapes, but
exactly.
You don't see
see beautiful writing. Exactly. You see prayer carpets where we pray, but you don't.
It's weird in the UK where they repurpose churches into mosques.
Yeah. But we take the idols off. Don't worry, man. Right. So now,
it's been a long time since I've been in one. But
well, we gotta take you today, inshallah. No problem. You're in Nottingham.
I'm in Notts for like another hour or so. But other than that, I'm going straight up north.
Where do you live?
Well, I live here, but I have to do some work up in Edinburgh, innit?
Oh, Edinburgh is beautiful. I've been there. Scotland's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
But you do believe there's one God, right?
I'd say I'm a bit atheistic. I'm definitely more cultural,
but think about it, right? Like as somebody who would be atheistic, you wouldn't believe that there is a creator. But me and you just discussed it, and we came to the logical conclusion that there is a creator, right? That's not atheistic. That's monotheistic, right? Like, so you got to switch it over now, right? So now, if there is a creator, and you agreed that Christianity is misguided, you agree Judaism is wrong, what's the only path that you see towards truth? Islam, right? Like,
I'd say I'm closer to that than
good.
any other main.
Let's keep going on that close, right? What, I mean, belief that there is one great creator, that we don't give image to, no idols, no worship of humans. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I'd agree idealism is a mistake. And
Good. Idol worship is wrong. Good. So in Islam, we believe the same thing. So you believe the same thing. We believe there's one great creator. We believe all of this is not out of accident. You believe that this is not out of accident. So your belief is in line with Islam, right?
That's it, so that's to a degree.
So you're
That's
Muslim.
where my family comes from.
Oh,
so.
exactly. But forget your family. We're talking about you, Alexa. For you, what is the difference between you and a Muslim?
Not too much, really.
There you go, bro. So be a Muslim. Why not?
I need more time towards it, you know.
No. But time to learn, you have all the time in the world, right? You go up to Edinburgh, we'll give you some videos you can watch on the way, we'll give you some books you can read, we'll give you the address to the mosque, you can come. But the essence is, you do believe there is a creator. I mean, you do believe that...
I believe there's more than what we see.
Excellent, good. In Islam, we believe in ilmul ghaib, that Allah has the knowledge of the unseen, right? There is more than what we see. It's not just about materialism. It's not just about the world as we see
That's the main corruption of today, isn't it?
It is, materialism.
Centralizing around what is material to this
But that's the problem with atheism, that it's very much based towards fulfilling your desires, right? Most atheists, I'll tell you a funny story. I was on a plane next to an atheist, the plane started shaking. He said, "Oh God," you know. I told him, "Who are you calling on," right? But the reality is that even an atheist knows in their heart there is a God. But the problem is they want to fulfill their desires. They just want to live it up, right?
I
But
mean,
as
every culture that's evolved today,
right?
like it comes from a more religious past, so it's kind of
There you-
ingrained into them. So
there
when
you go.
something does happen, they kind of automatically go to, "Oh God, what's happening?"
There you go. But that's because in our fitrah, in our natural state, we know there is a God, right? When you're in real trouble and nobody can help you, everybody prays. And prays to God above. It doesn't pray to like monkeys and all that, right? So that tells you there is a creator, but people have, for their own desires, kind of gone away from it, right? So we need to bring ourselves back. As a Muslim, you submit. Aslama means I submit. I submit to my creator. Whatever my creator says, I knows better. Like for example, we talked about the example of you designing a new car, right?
Yeah.
You as the designer and manufacturer, would you know best how to drive that car, or somebody that doesn't know anything about it?
Well, it's obviously.
Obviously,
I
right?
think the answer's obvious there.
It's all exactly. It's so obvious. But look at humanity today. Instead of going back to the Quran, instead of going back to what Allah, the designer, the creator, says how we should live, people are like, no, I want to be a communist. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to drink. I want to do drugs. I want to hang off buildings and jump or whatever people do, right? Allah tells you don't do that. Allah says don't kill yourself. Allah says you don't drink alcohol. It's bad for you. Don't eat pork. It's bad for you. Pray. It's good for you, right? So our creator knows better. So as a Muslim, what do we need to do? Submit. Right? We say, okay, look, I submit. My creator knows better than me, so I will follow what the creator says. Doesn't that make more sense than somebody trying to figure out what's right and wrong on their own? Not knowing how we were created, right? Like society today makes up their own laws, right? One day drugs are illegal, the next day it's legal, you know?
Depends on the state, really.
Yeah, exactly, right? But who knows better how we should live, the state or our creator? Right? The state changes their mind, the creator never changes his mind. Right? Does that make sense to you? So be a Muslim, man. What's holding you back? Is there anything about Islam that you don't agree with?
Well, it's just the investment in time towards
Right.
what I've got going in my life right now.
But then again, think about this, right? What if you're going on your way to Edinburgh and you get hit by a truck and you die? What was the most important thing you should have accomplished in this life? Recognizing Allah. It's not going to matter anymore, right? And I'm telling you from somebody from experience. I have friends that died at 12 and 14, right? I have friends that died at 20 and 21, right? I have friends that died at 40. Meaning, you never know when life will finish. If we don't invest time and effort into recognizing the purpose of life, we're wasting our life. Right? Because everything else, material, will get left behind. Right? So this is one of the most important thing. See, how does somebody become a Muslim? They testify. They say, I bear witness there is none worthy of worship except Allah. Right? The one above. You agree with that, right?
I mean, that is the method which you do it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I bear witness that Muhammad is the servant and messenger of Allah, right? We don't believe he is Allah. We don't worship him. We believe he was a messenger like you do, right? So that's a Muslim. That's your shahada. That's all that you do to be a Muslim, right? So you should do your shahada, be a Muslim. We'll give you some books, read up. We'll get you hooked up at the mosque. And then as you have time, you will learn more and grow. Make sense? Let's do it. You ready? All right. I'll say it with me then, all right? You ready?
Okay.
All right. Say, I bear witness.
I bear witness.
There is none worthy of worship.
There's none worthy of worship
Except Allah.
except Allah.
And I bear witness
And I bear witness
that Muhammad
that Muhammad
is the servant
is a servant
and messenger of Allah.
messenger of Allah.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I will do it in Arabic. Say it with me, okay?
I cannot speak Arabic.
I got you. Just say it with me. Ashhadu
Ashhadu
Allah
Allah
ilaha
ilaha
illallah. Illallah.
illallah
Wa. Yeah, you did it right. Wa.
wa
Ashhadu
ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammada
Muhammadan
abduhu
abduhu
wa rasuluh.
wa
Wa.
rasuluh.
Rasulu, Allahu Akbar. You're Muslim. Allahu Akbar. Get this brother Quran. We'll give you the address to the masjid here when you come back from Edinburgh. This is, you can come and learn more when you have more time. Any questions you have, we're your brothers. Yeah, we got you. You stay in Knott, right? You stay in Knott, right? Usually.
Stay in Nottingham.
Nottingham, yeah. Khalas. We'll get the brothers' numbers. Anything you need, they're your brothers, inshallah.
Okay.
Sounds good? Have a safe trip to Edinburgh. Great to see you, Alexa.
Have a good day, yeah?
Jazakallah khair.
Shalom alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني